Hi everyone, my name is Shah and welcome to our very first broadcast of the MICDROP. And as we told, it's our very first broadcast. My intention is to attract a lot of audience. So who do you think in nowadays watch the online broadcast? Of course it is the Gen Zs. So I came up with an idea to discuss who are the Gen Z and what are the Gen Z and what are they doing. So we're gonna talk through our eyes, Gen Z in the changing nation. So without any further delay, welcome our panel members. Hi!
Hi.
So why do you all introduce yourself to our audiences?
Hi everyone, my name is Jadek Chufong, but you can just call me Jadek. And I'm studying Science Physical in Pahang Matriculation College.
Hello
Thank you,
everyone.
Jadek.
My name is Narain Sophia and I go by Sophia. I am studying life science in college management.
Thank you, Sophia.
Hello everyone, good day. My name is Nohana Angara, and my studying class. I am currently studying physics science in Matriculation College.
So, as we told, Gen Z. So in my point of view, this Gen Z are the people who are born from 1999 to 2012. I'm a Gen Z who's born in the middle of this gap. Like, I have the effect of what the millennials like, but also, how to say, the Gen Z side, you know? So I can't feel myself a real Gen Z, but still I'm considered a Gen Z. Sometimes myself I feel so older. So, what are your point of view and who do you think are these Gen Z?
I feel like being in the middle, like 06, 07, we are very different from the earlier Gen Zs since earlier Gen Zs are closer to millennials and they have more traditional ways of thinking. And younger Gen Zs, like 2010s and above, like 2012, you can feel the difference. You feel old when you sit inside them. So it feels like even though we are one generation, there's still a lot of like different mindsets.
So about like when I say Gen Z, what comes to my mind is like when I was born, there was no handphone given to me. My first handphone is when I was 16 years old. But for nowadays Gen Z, it's like a meal set pack. If you order a meal, you get a free set of drinks. So when the baby is born with an iPhone. So that's the difference between the early Gen Z and the late Gen Z.
Yes. And like you say, because the newborn baby have an iPhone or even a phone. And I think that the biggest difference between the latest Gen Z and the Gen Z now is the living mindset. Especially in the monetary mindset, like the Gen Z reasons is more to like need to live in a luxurious ways, like need to spend more in their life and spending their life in a luxurious ways.
Yeah, mostly they want to live a luxury life like Prada, like they want to go from Gucci, then they want to show off in your Instagram.
Because I understand that like, nowadays kids really want, like they would shame other kids for not having like the latest iPhones, etc.
Yeah.
Like as like an older Gen Z, we cannot really do that.
But even a trend, you know, the Gen Zs who like to, when there's a new iPhone, it's a must buy thing. So, from comparing from Gen Z, for early Gen Z and late Gen Z, so what is the difference between the Generation Z and the millennials or the baby boomers, or maybe even the generation ahead of us, Generation Alpha or Generation Beta?
If you look at when you say General Alpha, usually has iPads and robots, but Gen Z like us, we usually need to score very well in examples, like we can all say A before our parents will buy us any phone or laptop. Even when we want to laptop to do our assignment, we have to frequently ask our parents or else we will just ignore it.
My mother does something like, so nowadays what I saw is like, even the kid have a 60 or 50 marks, the parents are so happy. But when I was in school, she was like, even I get a 99, she would be scolding me, where is the 1 mark? what is the missing 1 month? You know, like our parents, like more like Asian parents, you know, like they want us to score 100, they want us to like study hard, and then I think the study become a traumatizing experience for us. But I think it's so different from them. Even if we compare like how our parents went to school, how we went to school. Like when I tell my parents, oh, Mom, I'm feeling so lazy today, I don't want to go to school. And my mom like, do you know what other struggles I went through? I crossed a river, I hiked a mountain, then I made the monster. Yeah. No, I mean like they will be telling a story that it's very chaotic. Like they will like to show us their struggle. But even though they tell the story, I'm not gonna understand it because I'm not gonna feel it, I'm not gonna experience it anyway. So it's like kind of how to say, when my mother wants to tell the story, it's like, okay, I already heard the story for the 110th time now.
It is a universal story. Like every child has this version of story from their parents.
I think this is also prejudice that feels like a Gen Z now. As like our parents will always use their types and their study types to pressure us. Like actually, I think the Gen Z education now turn more to like vocational education. It's not only can focus on the academic, like you say, need to score 100% in the academic, but it can become some technical skills, learn more technical skills like this.
If I tell my mother I want to go to vocational, she's gonna kick me off the house, we're gonna die.
No doctor disown.
Because it's like, even like, yeah, it should be a doctor, a lawyer, or pilot. But now the millennials, they have the mindset like only the elite or the most famous roles can pay us enough. You know, they will live a very good life or a better life. But nowadays the Gen Zs who are successful doctor, they know I'm not even good in managing their finance, you know. He's a doctor, a specialist, or she is a doctor, a specialist. She's still trying to survive in the world, you know. So like this Gen Z is totally different from what the millennials are thinking, like especially our parents. Even our parents, millennials are better compared to the 80s and 90s. You know, the baby boomers in the 90s, oh my god, our grandparents.
Pay a house with a building. That's how it costed back then. And I feel like you have a point because like even if you study hard, you get the degree or not, but like the employment rate still the job is very competitive. So even if you have like masters, you study for years, there's no guarantee to do it.
Yes, but for now the certificate is a compulsory for now, just
So like when you're talking about the studies, so what are the education system that before the Gen Z and also the education system that the education Gen Z is facing, also the transition that the Gen Z went through from the early Gen Z to the late Gen Z, what are the transition of the education systems they went through? For me, like, until I was Form 1, for me, the education is physical. We go to school every day, get roasted by the teacher, then get assaulted by the parent, and get kicked by the bad uncle. So this is the typical school life for me. But when during the lockdown period, it's totally changed. After that, even though we already went through the new normal and everything is back to the original where it was, and COVID has become a very common disease nowadays. But the new normal, it didn't change. But now it mostly become everything digital. We have to send our assignments digitally, like Google Classrooms and all that. And for me, it's feeling tiring. I feel more comfortable with the physical way or the classic way of writing and sending the assignments, or even interacting physically with the teachers. It feels more understanding and I feel more confident compared to the online classes. Like I don't understand anything. Like mostly I have went through my lockdown period with the help of ChatGPT.
Physical learning comes from like the so like when it's becomes so digitized, it's so easy to portray because we're staring at a screen all day.
Especially it feels like, oh my god, I'm back to longer days.
So excited to be able to do homework outside and be able to send them with the deadline. Even like the deadline like today or before 12 and they know that we have other class because we are not at school, so in their mind that maybe have some time to do it all.
But last time we forgot the homework, there is no other excuse. But nowadays the Gen Z, the new Gen Zs, oh my god, think the one simple answer. Madam, I don't have line. Madam, I don't have internet, so I can't submit the work. So so literally as a Gen Z, I'm getting used to wait at my college period nowadays. Because like nowadays we mostly send the assignment using PDFs or we have to do it digital, right? So when my madam asked me, Madam Jen, I'm like, sorry madam, I don't have line, I don't have internet. Maybe I try to change the SIM madam one day. And recently we heard the news, right? At Pahang is Gambang. The dish at the Stephen Tower is stolen. And we face a network problem, right? So it was like almost every work is stopped. Like from the teaching to the learning process, everything like gets stuck, because of the internet.
Especially here, because college Matriculation College is like we're like in a jungle.
Yeah, it's a difficult jungle,
That day I tried to send my English video and it took for like 2 p.m. to like 5 p.m. It still not be sent. And I checked my manager about it and my manager asked me, I decided to use your send it is better.
Yeah,
So
like even the other things like when before this, like the millennials compared to the millennials, they were like, if you want to study, you have to study in a very quiet place, a place where you're calm, you need to focus. But do you think Gen Z is doing the thing?
But I think nowadays the education, like digitalized educational system, is also like the Gen Z to more creative. And like the competitions that I have participated now is the STEM AI competitions. It led us to using AI tools like Canva, like CapCut AI to produce some studies products and let us know more about the projects we will do.
But recently, I read an article about the effect of AI on the thinking of students, and it was found that this usage of AI like ChatGPT or Gemini, all that is really affecting the thinking skills of the students. It's like from 100, it went straight to like a very low percentage of thinking skills are used by the students, Like Gen Z, if the teacher is giving an essay, ChatGPT, how to write essay with the word count, and then it's like even the schools or the colleges have the technology to detect the AI. Now they also have the another technology to humanize the AI things, So it's like really in this world, the Gen Z is like, I think they're becoming lazy and
There is a study about this actually. Like there's a study where they compare groups of like teenagers that are using their own thinking skills to write an essay using semi like Google to like reference and completely using AI. At the end.
So we have talked a lot about the Gen Z. Who are the Gen Z? How they differ? And what are the changes they went through? From education system to what are their lifestyle facing. So what I think is, through my eyes, in the changing nation, Gen Z is constantly changing. And also during the nation is changing to adapt itself for the Gen Z. Who are the generation going to be the next leaders and the backbone of the country?
And I believe that we Gen Zs are still trying to figure out ourselves because Gen Z, the gap right now is still like young adults, and as we are scrambling to figure out who we are, the nation is also adapting to us and what we want to be.
Yes.
Gen Z are still trying to find their identity and they are trying to look for a job and also college to have a economy and change and
I think mostly the Gen Z is lost in the path or in search for finding who they really are.
Everything's going so fast.
So they don't even know their own identity.
They don't even know Gen Z themselves.
Yes.
But I think it's quite fascinated by how the Gen Z could change the world in the futures and what is the huge impact that will be brought by Gen Z's upbringings.
So hopefully this Gen Z will be a great generation that's going to shape the future. So thank you guys for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share our video. We will meet you in another beautiful session with another topic that's going to fit your interest. So until then, goodbye from MICDROP.
My God.
MICDROP!